This is Max and Mia podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Max and Mia podcast. I'm Max, and with me as always is the wonderful Mia.
Hi everyone, it's so great to be here with you all again. A huge thank you for tuning in and joining us on your English learning journey. We really appreciate you spending some time with us.
Absolutely. We love getting to connect with you listeners from all over the world. We've been getting some fantastic feedback lately, and it really motivates us to keep bringing you engaging content.
It truly does. And speaking of engaging, today we've got something a little different but super useful planned for you. We're going to dive into some everyday stories, the kind of situations you might find yourself in any day of the week.
That's right. We believe that learning from real-life examples is incredibly powerful. So, we've each picked a couple of short anecdotes that we think will be perfect for understanding common English phrases and vocabulary in context.
You'll hear these little stories, and then, after each one, we'll break it down for you. We'll highlight key vocabulary, interesting expressions, and give you some tips on how to use them yourself. It's all about making your English more natural and fluent.
Exactly. So, whether you're commuting, working out, or just relaxing at home, grab a cup of coffee and get ready to hear some fun, relatable tales that will definitely help boost your English skills. Let's jump right in.
Conversation number 1. At the coffee shop.
Good morning. Welcome to Brew and Bean. What can I get started for you today?
Hi, good morning. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to decide between a latte and a cappuccino. Could you tell me what's the difference?
Great question. A latte has more steamed milk and just a little foam on top, so it's creamier and milder. A cappuccino has equal parts espresso, steamed milks, and foam, so it's stronger and has more texture.
That sounds perfect. I'll go with the cappuccino then. Can I get it with oat milk instead of regular milk?
Absolutely. We have oat milk, almond milk, and soy milk available. Would you like any flavoring? We have vanilla, caramel, or hazelnut syrup.
Oh, vanilla sounds lovely. Just a little bit, though. I don't want it too sweet.
Perfect. 1 cappuccino with oat milk and a splash of vanilla syrup. What size would you prefer?
Medium, please. And actually, do you have any pastries? I skipped breakfast this morning, and I'm getting pretty hungry.
We sure do. We've got fresh croissants, plain, chocolate, or almond. We also have blueberry muffins, banana bread, and some really popular cinnamon rolls that just came out of the oven.
Oh, wow, those cinnamon rolls sound amazing. Are they very big? I don't want to spoil my lunch.
They're a decent size, but not huge. Most people find them just right for a mid-morning snack. Plus, they're still warm.
You've convinced me. I'll take one of those cinnamon rolls.
Excellent choice. So that's 1 medium cappuccino with oat milk and vanilla syrup, and 1 fresh cinnamon roll. Will that be for here or to go?
For here, please. I'm meeting a friend in about 20 minutes, so I thought I'd grab a table and wait for her.
Perfect timing. I'll have your cappuccino ready in just a few minutes. Feel free to grab any table you like. It's pretty quiet this morning.
Thanks so much. Oh, one more thing. Do you happen to have Wi-Fi? I need to check my emails quickly.
Of course. The network is Brew and Bean, and the password is coffee123. All lowercase.
Oh, you're a lifesaver. How much will that be?
That comes to $8.75 total.
Here's my card. Can I add a tip?
That's very kind of you. You can add it right on the screen when it prompts you.
Done. Thank you so much for your help. You've made my morning much easier.
My pleasure. I'll bring your order over to your table as soon as it's ready. Enjoy your morning, and I hope you have a great catch-up with your friend.
That was a perfect example of everyday English at a coffee shop. Did you notice how natural the conversation flowed? Emma asked questions about the menu, which is super common when you're trying new places.
Exactly. And Jake was really helpful. He explained the difference between drinks clearly and offered alternatives. That's typical customer service language. The key phrases to remember are, "What can I get started for you?" and "Will that be for here or to go?"
I loved how Emma wasn't afraid to ask follow-up questions about the Wi-Fi, the size of the pastries, and even requested modifications like oat milk. That's real-life English.
And notice the polite language throughout. Like, "That's very kind of you," "My pleasure," and "You're a lifesaver." These expressions make conversations warmer and more natural.
All right, let's move on to our second conversation. This time, we're heading to a completely different setting.
Conversation number 2 at the doctor's office.
Good afternoon, Sarah. Please, have a seat. I see from your appointment notes that you've been experiencing some health concerns. Can you tell me what's been bothering you?
Hi, Dr. Martinez. Thanks for seeing me on such short notice. I've been feeling really run down lately, probably for about 2 weeks now. I'm constantly tired, even after getting plenty of sleep.
I understand that must be frustrating. When you say run down, can you be more specific? Are there any other symptoms you've noticed?
Well, besides the fatigue, I've had some headaches. Not severe ones, but they're pretty persistent. And I've been getting dizzy spells, especially when I stand up quickly.
Those are definitely symptoms we should investigate. Have you noticed any changes in your appetite or eating habits recently?
Actually, yes. I haven't been as hungry as usual, and when I do eat, I feel full really quickly. It's strange because I'm normally someone who enjoys food and has a good appetite.
I see. And what about your stress levels? Have you been under any unusual pressure at work or at home?
You know, now that you mention it, work has been incredibly stressful. We're in the middle of a major project, and I've been putting in 12-hour days for the past month. I barely have time to eat proper meals.
That could certainly be contributing to how you're feeling. Long work hours and irregular eating patterns can really take a toll on your body. Are you taking any medications currently?
Just my daily multivitamin and some ibuprofen occasionally for the headaches. Oh, and I started drinking a lot more coffee to stay alert at work. Maybe 3 or 4 cups a day instead of my usual one.
That's quite an increase in caffeine. Excessive caffeine can actually worsen fatigue in the long run and contribute to headaches. Let me ask, are you staying hydrated? How much water do you drink daily?
Honestly, probably not enough. With all the coffee and being busy, I forget to drink water. Maybe 2 or 3 glasses a day?
That's definitely not sufficient. Dehydration can cause fatigue, headaches, and dizziness. All the symptoms you're describing. I'd like to run some basic blood tests to rule out anything more serious, but I suspect we're looking at a combination of stress, poor nutrition, dehydration, and too much caffeine.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess I've been so focused on getting through this project that I haven't been taking care of myself properly.
It happens more often than you'd think. Here's what I recommend. First, try to cut back on the coffee gradually. Maybe reduce it by 1 cup every few days. Second, aim for at least 8 glasses of water daily. Third, try to eat regular, balanced meals even if they're small.
Those sound like manageable changes. What about the blood tests you mentioned?
I'll have the nurse draw some blood today to check your iron levels, vitamin B12, and thyroid function. We should have the results back within a few days. In the meantime, if your symptoms worsen or if you develop any new ones, don't hesitate to call.
Should I be worried about anything specific?
Given your symptoms and lifestyle factors, I'm not overly concerned, but it's always better to be thorough. The blood work will give us a clearer picture. Try to implement those lifestyle changes we discussed, and let's schedule a follow-up appointment for next week.
That sounds perfect. Thank you so much for listening and taking the time to explain everything. I already feel better just having a plan.
You're very welcome, Sarah. Remember, taking care of your health should be a priority, especially during stressful periods. I'll see you next week, and hopefully, you'll be feeling much better by then.
Wow, that was such a realistic medical consultation. One thing I really want to highlight is how Dr. Martinez asked follow-up questions. Instead of just accepting "I feel run down," she asked Sarah to be more specific. That's exactly what doctors do in real life.
And notice the medical vocabulary that's actually quite accessible. Words like symptoms, fatigue, persistent, and investigate. These aren't too complex, but they're essential for healthcare conversations. Sarah also did a great job describing her symptoms clearly.
I loved how the conversation revealed the root cause gradually. Sarah mentioned stress almost as an afterthought, but it turned out to be a major factor. This shows how important it is to give complete information during medical appointments.
The doctor's recommendations were so practical too. Cut back gradually, aim for at least 8 glasses, don't hesitate to call. These are phrases you'll hear in many medical contexts. And Sarah's response, "That sounds like manageable changes," is perfect for showing you understand and agree.
Another key point. Notice how both speakers used polite, professional language throughout. Thanks for seeing me on such short notice. I understand that must be frustrating, and you're very welcome. Medical English tends to be more formal than casual conversation.
Exactly. And for our listeners, remember that it's completely normal to ask questions like, "Should I be worried?" or to request clarification. Good doctors want you to understand your health situation clearly.
This conversation also showed great examples of expressing frequency. Constantly tired? 3 or 4 cups a day? Maybe 2 or 3 glasses. These expressions are super useful for describing habits and symptoms.
Ready for something completely different? Our third conversation takes us to a much more casual setting where friends are making weekend plans.
Conversation number 3, making weekend plans.
Hey, Jess, what are you up to this weekend? I'm so ready for a break after this crazy week at work.
Tell me about it. I've been swamped too. I was actually hoping we could hang out. It feels like forever since we've had a proper catch-up.
Absolutely. I'm totally free Saturday. What did you have in mind? Are you feeling adventurous or more like a chill day?
That depends. What's the weather supposed to be like? If it's nice, maybe we could do something outdoors. I've been stuck inside all week.
Let me check. Oh, perfect. It's going to be sunny and around 75 degrees. Ideal weather for being outside. How about that hiking trail we talked about last month? The one near Bear Mountain?
Oh, the one with the waterfall at the end? That sounds amazing. But wait, isn't it supposed to be pretty challenging? I haven't been hiking in ages, and I'm definitely out of shape.
Don't worry about it. It's only about 3 miles total, and we can take our time. Plus, there are plenty of spots to rest along the way. The view at the top is totally worth it.
You've convinced me. What time should we meet? And should I bring anything special?
How about we meet around 9 a.m.? That way we can finish before it gets too hot. As for what to bring, definitely water, some snacks, and wear comfortable shoes. Oh, and don't forget sunscreen.
Got it. I'll pack some trail mix and maybe some fruit. What about lunch? Should we eat before we go or pack something?
Good thinking. There's actually a really cute cafe right at the trailhead. We could grab breakfast there first, then hit the trail. They make incredible pancakes and fresh juice.
That sounds perfect. I love trying new places. Should we drive separately, or can you pick me up?
I can totally pick you up. My car has more space for our gear anyway. I'll swing by your place around 8:30, and we can grab breakfast together.
You're the best. I'm getting excited already. It'll be so nice to disconnect from work and just enjoy nature for a change.
I know, right? Sometimes you forget how good it feels to be outdoors. Oh, and bring your camera. Last time I was there, I saw some deer near the waterfall.
Seriously? That's so cool. I'll definitely bring it. Are there any other animals we might see?
Well, it's pretty common to spot squirrels and different birds. Sometimes people see foxes, but that's more rare. Nothing dangerous, though, so don't worry.
Awesome. I can't wait. Thanks for organizing this, Tyler. I really needed something to look forward to.
No problem at all. It'll be fun to spend some quality time together. Plus, I've been wanting to check out that trail myself.
Perfect. So 8:30 at my place, breakfast at the cafe, then hiking. Anything else I should know?
Just bring a positive attitude. Oh, and maybe a light jacket in case it gets breezy up there. See you Saturday morning.
Will do. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your week.
That conversation felt so natural and spontaneous. It's exactly how friends make plans in real life. Lots of back and forth, considering options, and working out the details together.
I loved the casual vocabulary throughout. Phrases like, I'm so ready for a break, I've been swamped, and hang out are perfect examples of informal English that native speakers use constantly with friends.
And notice how they negotiated the plans together? Tyler suggested hiking. Jessica expressed concern about the difficulty, and Tyler reassured her. That's such realistic friend-to-friend communication, being honest about concerns but staying positive.
The planning details were great too, discussing weather, timing, what to bring, and transportation. These are exactly the kinds of practical conversations you need to have when making plans in English.
Now, let's wrap up with our fourth and final conversation, which brings us into a completely different social situation.
Conversation number 4, job interview.
Good morning, Rachel. Thank you for coming in today. Please have a seat and make yourself comfortable.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. I'm really excited about this opportunity.
Wonderful. I've had a chance to review your resume, and I'm quite impressed with your background. Before we dive into the specifics, could you tell me a little bit about yourself and what drew you to apply for this marketing coordinator position?
Absolutely. I graduated from State University 2 years ago with a degree in communications, and since then, I've been working at a small digital agency where I've gained hands-on experience in social media management, content creation, and campaign analysis. What really attracts me to this role is the opportunity to work with a larger team and take on more strategic responsibilities.
That's excellent. I see you mentioned social media management. Can you give me a specific example of a successful campaign you've worked on?
Sure. Last year, I led a campaign for a local restaurant chain that was struggling to attract younger customers. We developed a series of Instagram stories and TikTok videos showcasing their cooking process and featuring customer testimonials. Over 3 months, we increased their social media following by 150% and saw a 30% boost in sales among customers aged 18 to 35.
Those are impressive results. How did you measure the success of that campaign? What analytics tools did you use?
We primarily used Instagram Insights and Google Analytics to track engagement rates, website traffic, and conversion rates. I also created weekly reports to monitor our progress and adjust our strategy when needed. For example, we noticed that video content performed much better than static images, so we shifted our focus accordingly.
I appreciate that you're data-driven in your approach. Now, this position would involve working closely with our sales team and external clients. How do you handle working with different personality types and potentially challenging situations?
That's a great question. In my current role, I work with clients who have very different communication styles and expectations. I've learned that the key is active listening and adapting my communication approach to match what works best for each person. For instance, some clients prefer detailed email updates, while others want quick phone calls or face-to-face meetings.
Can you tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult client or situation?
Certainly. About 6 months ago, we had a client who was unhappy with the initial results of their ad campaign. They were quite frustrated and considering ending our contract. Instead of getting defensive, I scheduled a meeting to really understand their concerns. It turned out they had unrealistic expectations about the timeline for results. I presented them with industry benchmarks and proposed a revised strategy with clearer milestones. Not only did they stay with us, but they actually increased their budget after seeing improved results.
That shows excellent problem-solving skills. What would you say is your biggest weakness, and how are you working to improve it?
I'd say my biggest weakness is that I sometimes get too caught up in perfecting details, which can slow down my productivity. I've been working on this by setting time limits for tasks and reminding myself that sometimes good enough is better than perfect, especially when working under tight deadlines. I've also started using project management tools to help me stay on track.
I appreciate your honesty. Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your career goals?
In 5 years, I'd love to be in a senior marketing role where I can mentor junior team members and lead strategic initiatives for major clients. I'm particularly interested in developing expertise in emerging digital marketing trends like influencer partnerships and interactive content. I see this position as an ideal stepping stone to gain that broader experience.
That aligns well with our company's growth plans. Do you have any questions for me about the role or the company culture?
Yes, actually. Could you tell me more about the team I'd be working with? And what does a typical day look like in this position?
Great questions. You'd be part of a 6-person marketing team, and we have a very collaborative environment. A typical day might involve analyzing campaign performance in the morning, attending client meetings, brainstorming creative concepts with the design team, and coordinating with sales on upcoming projects.
That sounds like exactly the kind of dynamic environment I'm looking for. When can I expect to hear back about next steps?
We're interviewing candidates through Friday, and we hope to make a decision by early next week. HR will be in touch regardless of the outcome. Thank you again for your time today, Rachel. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.
What a fantastic way to end our episode. That job interview conversation covered so many essential professional English skills. Rachel did an amazing job using the STAR method: situation, task, action, result, when answering behavioral questions.
Absolutely. Notice how she gave specific examples with actual numbers. 150% increase in following, 30% boost in sales. Quantifying your achievements makes your answers much more convincing and memorable.
I loved how she handled that classic biggest weakness question. Instead of giving a fake weakness like, I work too hard, she mentioned a real challenge, but immediately explained how she's addressing it. That shows self-awareness and growth mindset.
The language throughout was professional, but not overly formal. Phrases like, I'm really excited about this opportunity, that's a great question, and I appreciate your honesty, strike the perfect tone for interviews.
And don't forget how Rachel turned the tables at the end by asking thoughtful questions about the team and daily responsibilities. That shows genuine interest and helps you evaluate if the job is right for you.
For our viewers preparing for interviews, remember these key phrases. Could you tell me more about what drew me to this position is? And in my experience, I've found that these help you sound confident and professional.
So, there you have it. 4 essential English conversations that you'll encounter in everyday life. From ordering coffee to medical appointments, making plans with friends, and job interviews.
Remember, the key to mastering these conversations is practice. Try role-playing these scenarios with friends or even by yourself. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's how we learn.
If you found this episode helpful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We release new episodes every week with practical English conversations for learners.
And let us know in the comments which conversation was most useful for you, or what situations you'd like us to cover in future episodes.
Thanks for joining us today on Max and Mia Podcast. Keep practicing, keep improving, and we'll see you next time.
Until next week, happy learning, everyone!